I'm Fanika Friend.
Hey, it's LeBryant, and welcome to
Couch Conversations.
this segment. It's dealing with what every man is looking for in a wife. Now, this is a very interesting one, for me or for us, because one, obviously, I have found what I was looking for, but then taking into consideration that there are men out there who have hopes, dreams, and desires of one day finding their good thing. And it actually, what made it interesting for me was this question, of course, came from a woman. What is a man looking for when he's looking for a wife? So, Fanika, what positioned you well to be found as a woman? Let's start there.
As a wife, I always say before, the Bible said a man found a wife finds a good thing. It's just the things that I was doing even before I was found. You know what I mean? Just some of those basic things of taking care of a house and just being trustworthy. Some of those things. But I think it is better to pose this question as saying, what is a godly man looking for in a wife? We got some man that's looking for thoughts, and we got some man that's looking for cherry that come down the pole. And everybody is not looking. I know that.
Cherry?
Yeah, her name Cherry. She got red hair. She just come down the pole. Just come down. Just slide down. But I got a pole though. It doesn't matter. Okay. Okay, I need to focus. I do have a pole. But, but everybody is not looking for, you know what I'm saying? So
right.
I think maybe we should pose this of what a godly.
I agree.
Glory to God.
I agree. Now,
man is looking for.
Now, to be clear, I think that every godly man that is looking for a wife, without question, wants a wife who understands the power and posture of prayer. However, we don't want a wife that all they know how to do is just pray.
Now that's the truth. You got to know how to do more, woman of God, than just being in your prayer closet. Okay, you got to have more things to talk about than the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. I love the Lord. I love
heard my cry.
He heard my cry, and he pitied everyone. Hallelujah. But listen, now I'm married to a pastor. You ain't finna get me here talking about Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John all day. We gonna have some fun. And we're going to talk about things even outside of our children. Because if you don't, you know what I'm saying? You can't even have conversation outside of things of church. Woman, God, you're boring. You're boring. You're boring. You got to have more things. You got to have more layers to you. Can you talk some politics? Do you got some jokes? Can you talk dirty? Can you do other things?
Right. They just started. You don't want to.
I can't say talk dirty.
Not yet.
I like talking.
We got to ease them in it. We got to ease them into it.
You said booty on the last.
I know, but you just came all out with that one. Just.
You don't like when I talk dirty?
Take time.
Okay, I ease it.
Okay, gotta ease them in.
Well, you got to be able to talk other things.
Got to be able to have common conversation. Let's just say that. Got to be able just to have common conversation.
Woo.
And the truth of the matter is, as much as prayer is important and will always be a priority relationally,
Absolutely.
There is also the place where we just got to be able to have a conversation about something that may not even matter that much to you, but it just matters in the grand scheme of what I like. Like Fanika doesn't really care for sports, but she has learned how to care for them because it was something that was important to me. So now we can have conversations about the NBA trade.
That's right. I was telling you who got traded while he was gone.
You did. She was telling me who got traded. I never was a big fan of Hallmark, but I can have conversations about the Hallmark Channel primarily because every movie ends the same way, but because Fanika likes it.
Talk about my Hallmark movies.
But because Fanika likes it, we're able to have conversations. So every man is looking for someone that he can engage with. Every godly man is looking for someone he can engage with, not just in a prayer closet.
Absolutely.
But can we have practical conversations? Can we just live life? Can we have fun? Can we go to the movie, to bowling alley, to dinner? Can we go take part in one of our hobbies and it not have to be we're caught up in the third heaven the entire time?
Absolutely.
Or can we just leave the third heaven where it is and just have fun? Have fun. Can fun be not sin? I mean, can we do something and it's not looked at with a look of condemnation just because it's outside of a norm of what others would want to do? So number one, I would say the practicality just in conversations and being a conversationalist and being able just to engage outside of prayer.
Absolutely. And, I think a lot of times even getting those questions with people who are not even married is just saying, like, how do you date? And how do you godly date? Because I think the church have put a stigma on, if you go skating, you're going to hell. If you go to the movies, you're going to hell. If you go sit at the bar, you're going to hell. If you go to, you know what I'm saying? If you go out after 10 and 11 o'clock, my grandma ain't in open but legs in liquor stores. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes you might want to go to a midnight movie. And it don't mean that you are trying to sin in the process, and so I think that, in the context of those things, I think people are just struggling with how to date.
I agree. And so like for the next part of that, I think that every godly man is looking for someone he can date without feeling like he's gotta date everybody at the same time. Like there's gotta be a space where courtship is just that between the two, and maybe a wise counselor or two to just kind of be sure boundaries stay in space or in place. But I don't want like every time we go out, we got to go out with like 15 different people.
Or, because you're so on a quest for a wife, or you're so on a quest for a husband that you don't even get a chance to date the person. It's more like an interview. You get in there, do you like this? Do you like this? You can't even organically learn the person and what it is they like, because it's almost like you got them up on an interview saying, you know what I'm saying? Because you looking for a mate. Sure. And that's fine to look for a mate, but let some things happen naturally and organically. Listen, if we didn't make it, I don't think I can date in this. Not how stuff works now.
We don't even throw nothing like that out there.
Okay, my bad.
Maybe if I die. Now if I die, you just got to find a short knock-kneed man to be married. You got to be knock-kneed and cross-eyed. All right, so the next one, you may forget my next point. All right, so want to be sure that you have time, that he has time to get to know you, and not the facade of you, or not the you that you want him to see. Like I knew Fanique had finally got comfortable with me when she changed wigs the same day. That was
early on though.
That was very early on. That's the
I even had
part.
you take my weave out. And we wouldn't date.
I was a weebologist, and I'd never
Help
seen
me
weave
get
in my
me.
life, and I became a weebologist very, very quick. I was actually the master of doing a quick weave. I could glue quick weave in like it was nobody's business.
You would go get the hair. I tell you the color, the number.
Yeah. Very quickly. All right. So the next thing I think that is important for every godly man is looking for is someone who can engage and keep his attention while allowing him to be free to pursue. All right. Now, most men won't tell you this, but the truth is, it is the pursuit that keeps us engaged. All right. I'm going to try to be sure I watch my words when I say this.
Okay.
But if you allow him to have a conquest too soon, you take away the desire and the demand to pursue as he should.
Absolutely.
So if he's already climbing your mountains and walking through your valleys.
Mountains and valleys?
Mountains and valleys.
That's a good way, Pastor.
I tried to be sure I framed it right. You will see that the desire to pursue will wane away very, very quickly. For every man, it's not just a godly man, but for every man, there's a desire to pursue, conquest, conquer. And, I think I've said this before in one of our other videos. Every man wants that. Is with the one he wants to be with. He wants everybody to know, that's my woman. Yeah, that's the one I want to be with. That's the one I am with. So I think keeping and creating space for a godly pursuit, meaning that we still have boundaries in everything that we do, but I'm giving him space to pursue me, meaning creating opportunities where we can date, where we can go out, where we can be together, where you can learn about me bit by bit, and I don't have to give him my whole life story in our first dinner. Everything is not just I got to give it all to you right now.
Because you know what it is? A lot of people have these timelines. They have these timelines. They have things written out. You know, by the time I get 27, by the time I get 28, or if I get 30, God forbid if I'm 30 and I'm not married. You know what I mean? And so then we put a rush on the things that we should be doing in our dating or in our courtship because we are trying to stick to a schedule, or we're letting family member come in and say, girl, when you gonna get married? When you gonna have kids? You know, and I know sometimes people mean it with the greatest intention, but I think it adds even more pressure, you know, for you to feel like you need to be married, you know. And so when you feel like, shoot, if a guy come by, he look at me, oh, that he it. I'm just gonna pursue it hard. If I see the red flags, if I see the whole marching band come through with a banner that said this joke ain't no good, that tells me she's thought and she's gonna continue to thought, I see the band, I'm gonna ignore the band. I'm gonna ignore the cymbals and the crash and to break it down with the band. You know why? Because I want to be married.
That's true.
And then you know what happened? Then you come, and then you say,
I don't know.
I don't even know who this is. I don't know why I got married.
You don't know him because you didn't find time to know him before. And that
Absolutely.
It takes time to really get to know somebody.
It takes time.
And it's not to say that God can't do a miracle in 3 months. Don't get me wrong. But I tell people very often, don't make it official till you all have had your first good argument.
You always say that.
Because you have only met them that they want to show you until you all have your.
Because every woman got a little level of crazy. My level might be a little higher, but every woman got a little level of crazy.
Somewhere.
And I think is perfect when you say you should be able to go through some type of argument before. You know what I'm saying, to see how this person responds.
Absolutely. So I think the last thing that I want to throw in there today, as it pertains to dating godly and what a godly man is looking for, and this is probably the thing that attracted me to Vanika more than anything else. When I met Vanika, she already had her own life going on. She wasn't like waiting for a knight in shining armor to come rescue her. She already had going on. She was working. She was in school. She was doing ministry. So she had friends. She had her other relationships. So I literally had to find space when we actually got there. Went from friends to engagement, which is a completely different story. I'm sure we'll tell at some point. But I had to find space when it was time for me to pursue, to do just that, to pursue. Because I believe every man loves a woman who already has something going on in her life. She's not just waiting for him to come rescue her and scoop her up. She already has life going on to some degree.
Absolutely.
And I think Vanika had that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I wasn't sitting there twiddling my thumbs waiting for no man.
You wasn't twiddling? you actually had something going on. So I think that is like a very, very, very brief, and in some instances a very surface level response to the question.
But let me say this: I think in the day of social media, social media being such a big thing, I think men are also watching how women even respond and stuff they do. Listen, I always tell people, when some of these women get so emotional and they tell all their business on social media, listen, a lot of that stuff is a red flag for men. So or you always tell me, I can't find no good man. It ain't no good man. Listen, I'm telling you, even when people friend me on Facebook, I run to their page before I accept it to look. Let me see, and I say, oh, they got a little touch of crazy. I read about 3 or 4 of your statuses, and I say, they crazy. Delete. Listen, I'm telling you, men do the same thing.
Absolutely.
And some of you women, while you are single, you need to learn learn to manage those things. You need to learn to manage your emotions. You listen, if I got mad every time and went to social media or put up subliminal messages about something happening in my home, not only is it immature and it is silly,
a turn off.
it is a turn off. Like, and I see this stuff and I be on there like, man, you ain't gonna never have nobody. Like,
now the other part of that with the social media piece, I'm glad you said that. The other part is, what of a telltale sign for men, because we are visual. There's no getting around that. We're visual beings. So if every one of your pictures is like neck up with 17 different filters, that's a sign. What? If you've got 17
let the
different
folks
filters,
with their filters and be great.
Listen, Snapchat has ruined the great of many people. Snapchat just jacked you up. You got all these filters. You got halos. You got highlights. I mean, everything. And then we see you and you look like Medusa.
I have seen a few say
like,
I message you and I go,
that wasn't you. That was I meant the Snapchat.
like you had a good photographer.
I meant the Snapchat you.
Like woman of God.
So the truth is, every man is not the man that, like for Nika, before when we leave out, especially on Sunday, she's gonna put on a full face. She's gonna have herself together. For some men, they like women plain Jane. The best thing I would say is just be sure you always keep yourself at your best and always be seeking to improve who you are to the best of your abilities. Now, everybody is not going to do what Fanika does. Everybody don't have the grace to do it, to be honest with you. But be your best.
But that's
you.
only when I'm out, because when I'm in, I got my braids. I got my 3 braids right in
But
here up under this
you've actually
wig.
started doing better.
I have.
I
said that it was something that I was going to work on. I can sit in the house, man of God, 4-5 days with my bonnet on.
Bonnet, just bonnet.
And you have been so gracious to me.
have.
But I am really working on that.
Help the Lord. I've been praying. See, that's what happens when you got a praying wife. You need a praying husband too. I'm like, Lord, touch this bonnet, let it fall off. let me flush it down the toilet and not clog
No,
the
baby,
commode.
you like my edges delayed.
All right, so that is in synopsis. That's just a very short piece on pieces that I believe, from my perspective, that every godly man is looking for relationally. But the best thing, just be you and don't be afraid to evolve in who that you is. All right. So don't just put on or try to perform for people, but be the best you that you can be. All right.
All right.
Cool. We out.